Hello everyone, welcome back to what may well be the final episode of Season 2 in our European Journeyman series. We're still at Valencia, our first club, and more exciting than that, we've got the Champions League semi-final. It's the first time we've actually been in the Champions League in this series, and we've made it all the way to the semi-final. This is the first leg. We're going to be at home against Manchester City. This may be the last episode. We've got 5 games to get through, 3 league games that just don't matter. We're guaranteed second place no matter what. And then the Champions League semi-finals. Now, if we do, by some miracle, make the final of the Champions League, I will do an extra episode where we will live com the Champions League final. I also feel like if we win the Champions League, I'm not sure that I will want to do a third season at Valencia. I know that might sound a bit strange, but I really think La Liga is much harder to win than the Champions League. And I've only been given £7 million to deal with in the summer transfer window, which is not enough to make up the 16 to 20 point gap that will be in the table between second and first place. And that's in a season where Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have completely fallen apart. So we need a lot of investment to be able to challenge for a La Liga title, and I'd rather go away with a major piece of silverware in my hands, try my hand in different leagues, and then come back and try and take on one of the 3 big clubs in Spain to actually win La Liga, because right now it's just a bit too difficult. Those clubs are so much further ahead than us. In the Champions League, we can have a bit more luck. Little individual victories will do better, and head-to-head against the big 3 teams, we've been very good, but we cannot match their consistency because they have too many good players in too much depth, and we will never be able to buy that many good players. We can barely keep a first 11 on the pitch. So I think if we do win the Champions League, I will leave Valencia. I'll look for a new club in the summer. It is 2018, so there's an international tournament. Managers will move around, jobs will become available, and we can take that as it comes. If we don't win the Champions League, I will consider a third season at Valencia, but even then, I'm not entirely sure. So let me know in the comments what you think. I have been talking a lot about leaving the club this season, so yeah, let me know in the comments what you think I should do. But first things first, we need to take on Man City, and for the team that I'm putting out there, I'm hoping we can at least sneak a slender lead for the second leg in Manchester. We've got Berahino leading the line with Muniain on the left flank, Januzaj on the right flank, Parejo, Perez and Envia in the middle. Gaia, Mangala, Santos and Cancelo are the back four, Diego Alves in goal. I'm using this formation because I want the defensive midfielder to cover. If we concede an away goal, it could all be over for us, really. We need to keep a clean sheet today, even if it's a goalless draw. I'm still going to be aggressive, and we're going to try and control the game. I want goals, but I mostly want to stop Man City from scoring. Zabaleta sends the ball in, De Bruyne onto Fernandinho. Now Antoine Griezmann sends the ball out to Iheanacho. We've got it back with Parejo, and Muniain is in behind. He's got Berahino in the middle. He puts it across, and Berahino has given us the lead inside 4 minutes of the Champions League semi-final. Corner from Perez, put into the middle. It's come to Adrilan Santos, who finds Gaia, and it's 2-0. We lead Manchester City 2-0 in the Champions League semi-final. Griezmann with a free kick, edge of the area, and he's hit the crossbar. We get away with that one. Cancelo coming forward down the right. Ruben Neves to Fernandinho. Man City desperately trying to get through, and Griezmann's got behind our defence. He's in on goal, but straight at Diego Alves. De Bruyne's corner into the middle, cleared out by Januzaj, but Mangala has fouled in the penalty area. He's given his actual ownership team a penalty in this Champions League semi-final. Fernandinho to take it, and it's saved by Diego Alves. We are absolutely unstoppable right now. Santos forward to Muniain. It's been a while since we had an attack, and Gundogan is breaking that attack up as well. Bravo sends it forward. Perez intercepts. Parejo to Muniain. 3 Man City players blocking him up, but it creates so much space for Gaia on the left. He pulls it back. Muniain into Berahino. It is 3-0 to us against Manchester City. This is unreal. Gaia down the line to Berahino. He's cutting across. He finds Perez, who has hit it on the half volley. First time from the edge of the area to make it 4-0. Corner from Bernat, put into the middle. Griezmann off the woodwork. We really need to keep the clean sheet given how hard we've worked for it. Vezo's throw. Just 40 seconds left. De Bruyne clears it away. They've got nobody up front. We have played absolutely out of our skins today. This has been utterly phenomenal. And if we can keep this clean sheet, we'll be in a position where one goal in Manchester will allow us to concede 5 and still go through. It's absolutely unbelievable how big and good a result this is. Full-time whistle's going to go any second. There it is. We've beaten Manchester City 4-0 in the Champions League semi-final. In the first leg at least. Now we need to be careful. This game, in my experience, is brilliant at throwing in the biggest upsets of all time in return legs when you've got a seemingly unassailable lead. But it would be the greatest Champions League comeback of all time if Manchester City did manage to come back from that. That is absolutely incredible. I can't believe that's actually happened. I'm completely blown away. It's stuff like this that makes me love this game. Just when you think it can't possibly happen, the game goes and delivers it for you. Now, for the rest of this episode, we do have that game against Granada before the next return leg with City. Then two reasonably dull games in the league because we're going to finish second. We can't finish first. We can't finish third. But it's all about the Champions League at this point. And I think we should, if we do get through against Man City, there will be another episode of this season, and it will be the Champions League final. Well, for this league match against Granada, we're going to use the away formation that we'll be using in Manchester. We're also going to rest a few key players, but I still want to get the win today and keep that morale high. I want to take no risks ahead of that game against Manchester City. It means Niang and Gregoritsch are going to lead the line for this match, with Januzaj just behind them. Perez, Parejo and Envia are all going to start, and they may well start in Manchester as well. Leto's at left back, Mangala is partnered by Santos, and Vezo is at right back. Martinez comes in for Diego Alves. Januzaj's free kick into the middle for Gregoritsch, and there's a foul in there from Fofana. We've got the penalty. Parejo's going to take this penalty, and he's found the bottom corner to give us a lead. Mariano slips it through for Robert, who's been allowed in, and it's an instant reply from Granada out of nowhere. And Villa out wide to Vezo. He's trying to get past the defender. Cross blocked. Perez finds Niang. Perez again out to Vezo. There's Parejo to Perez. And Villa can slip this one through. Vezo instead takes it out wide. Sends the ball in, and Januzaj arrived at the right time to touch it into the back of the net. Perez forward to Gregoritsch. Niang picks up the ball. It's taken away from him, and Mariano sends it over the top. Traore's got in behind. He's still going, and he's put it in the back of the net as well. What is Martinez doing in that goal? He may as well not be there. They've had 2 efforts on target. They've both gone in. Leto into Januzaj. Leto again. Loses the ball to Tito. Crin forward to Traore. His ball over to Tito. Whipped in along the ground, and it's come for Traore. Martinez jumps out of the way of the ball. I don't even care if there is a deflection on that. It's 3-2 to Granada. Tito down the line. Robert's got the ball. He's got people arriving in the middle as well, and Traore has made it 4-2. Robert charging forward finds Tito. He sends the ball down the line for Robert again. He's managed to keep the ball there. Tito puts it in on the cross. Traore has got his 4th goal of this game. Granada have had 5 shots on target today, and they scored 5 goals. Martinez has pretty much just guaranteed that if I'm around next season, he will not be, because that was the worst performance I've seen from a goalkeeper in a long time. 4 goals for Bertrand Traore. Granada are down in 18th place. They're almost certainly going to get relegated, and they've just absolutely spanked us. Well, the last thing you want ahead of a game where you absolutely can't concede is to be hammered 5-2 by a team in the relegation zone. But that's exactly what happened in our last match. We are at least back to full strength. Martinez is back on the bench where he blooming belongs after that performance. We have Diego Alves, our total rock, in goal. Gaia, Mangala, Santos and Cancelo, our strongest back 4, are in their rightful places. Perez, Parejo and Envia will all continue despite playing in that really poor performance in the last match. Muniain, Gregoritsch and Berahino are the three that I'm trusting to get one goal today, because one goal will leave Manchester City needing to score 6 in normal time. Now 4-0 is a scoreline I would expect Man City to score in a game like this. So getting that away goal is crucial. It's why we're going to start with the away formation. I might change it during the match, but I just want to get a goal to completely settle my nerves in this, because I'm actually still very nervous about this. We've done so well to get so close to the Champions League final in just our second season at the club. I don't want to blow it here. Well, we've managed to get to half-time and nothing's happened. We've picked up 2 yellow cards and that is it. There has been no chances for either team. If we take a quick look at the stats, the match stats rather, you'll see that there's been 5 shots, 3 on target for City. We've only had 1 shot that wasn't even on target. It's been really, really quiet. So we'll have to see what happens in the second half. But as things stand, we are heading to the Champions League final. Griezmann coming forward. It's taken an hour for a highlight to kick off, but here's Bernat in a lot of space. He takes it to the byline, puts it across, it's cleared away. Neves to De Bruyne. Now Zabaleta. He sends it in to De Bruyne again. Iheanacho's hit the post. A lucky escape for us. Well, there's less than 15 minutes left and it's still 0-0. As things stand, we are going to the final. It would be the most heroic of turnarounds if Manchester City managed to turn this from here. We've not managed any real efforts on goal. The team have been brilliant. This is exactly like what happened against Inter Milan when we managed to hang on. I'm just throwing substitutions out there to waste time at this point. I think we'll be fine. I'm going to leave it on counter just because that away goal would still be very, very nice if we can get it. And with Manchester City throwing everything at us, there will be space in behind. Here is Griezmann sending the ball forward. Diego Alves has caught it. There's not long left now. He sends it out wide. Gaia. He's just hanging on to the ball. There's not really many options for him, but he has found Witsel. Now Januzaj back to Envia. Vezo, we've got a bit of space now with Gregoritsch. He can slip it through for Berahino, and he does. There is Berahino, but it's saved by Claudio Bravo. Corner to be taken by Parejo. He sends it to the back stick, looking for Envia. Januzaj has it, edge of the area. This is exactly what we want at this point in this game. He's taken it to the corner flag, pulls it back across. Parejo has it, and he's hit the crossbar, I think. No, it was a save from Claudio Bravo. Parejo again from the corner. Straight to Bernat. Ball sent forward, but there's nobody up there for Man City, which means that we get to run down even more time. This is absolutely incredible. I can't believe we're heading to the Champions League final in just our second season. We've been very lucky with the fixtures, and there is the full-time whistle. We've made the Champions League final in our second season at the club, but only our first season in the Champions League with Valencia. It's absolutely unreal that we've managed to do this. I can't believe it. Another £6 million in the club's finances. There is now nearly £30 million in there, which at the end of the season is a very healthy place to be. The board are very happy with me. If we take a look at our competitions, we were only expected to reach a group stage. We've managed to get all the way to the final. The board are ecstatic with us in this competition. We're also second in the league, made the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey. We are definitely in a very good position. And it means that there is going to be one more episode of this season in the Champions League final against a team yet to be decided. It was 1-1 between Arsenal and PSG in the first leg. Let's just go forward a bit and see who we're going to be facing in that Champions League final. Well, there it is on the screen. PSG have had to use penalties to get through. Berardi getting a 73rd minute equaliser, and then on penalties, PSG have just edged it. I would have preferred to face Arsenal, to be honest. PSG are going to be very, very tough. They did very well last season. They're winning the league every year. The holders are currently Barcelona, so they're still yet to win the Champions League. But it is definitely something to look forward to in that Champions League final. But first, we need to get through these 2 games. First against Malaga, then against Real Sociedad. Then we can plan for the Champions League final, which is about 2 weeks after the end of season match against Real Sociedad. Well, for the match against Malaga, we're using the exact same team that carried us through against Manchester City last week. Gregoritsch and Berahino can hopefully get a few goals in this game. It was a little bit of a boring match, to be honest, given how nervous I was for it. So I'm hoping we get a few goals on the score sheet. It'd be nice to see Gregoritsch getting 1 or 2 goals again. He's only scored 1 in, I think, maybe this year, actually. It's been really poor for him. Berahino, of course, being an absolute legend of the club, firing us to the Champions League final. The rest of the team is probably full strength. There's not really any changes there that I'd want to make. In fact, I think the squad's pretty much full strength at this point. We've got everybody fit for the first time, I think, ever while I've been here. Berahino running at the Malaga defence. He's got Gregoritsch with him. Gaia in support down the left flank. 2 players ganging up on him. He sends it all the way back to Mangala. There's Gaia to Perez. Ball back to Parejo, then switched out wide to Gaia, who pulls it back into Perez. And Villa with a lot of space. Sends it back though. Gaia to Perez. Mangala. Parejo. Ball just being worked so slowly, but here's Berahino. He's turned and he strikes it, and he's scored after just 2 minutes. Chori's free kick, edge of the area, cleared away. Moses has it, now Torres. Tackled by Perez, but Moses gets the ball again. Finds Chori in on goal. He was left totally unmarked there. There's no other way to say it. And he's just lashed it into the top corner. A very good finish. Gregoritsch has been played in behind, but it was... Well, there's the full-time whistle. It has finished 1-1. Not the result I maybe would have liked, but it was a hard-fought game, to be honest, given there wasn't that much riding on it. It means that we are now guaranteed to finish above Atletico. There's nothing they can do to catch us. We're on 73 points. They're on 69. It looks like Barcelona are going to qualify for the Champions League, but they'll have to do it through the playoff position. The top 4 positions are all secure. It's about the Europa League places, really, and it looks like the relegation places are settled as well. So it's all about the Europa League on the final day of the season. Well, there are a few changes to the team for this final match of the episode and our La Liga season. We're going to have Gregoritsch lead the line with Bakali and Halilovic coming in on the wings. They've both been out for pretty much the entirety of this season, so they've not been able to play. Medran, Perez and Parejo are in the middle. Leto, Vazel, Badal and Canseo make up the back 4. Diego Alves is going to stay in goal because I'm pretty much determined to stop Martinez from ever playing a game of football again if I can. And yeah, there's nothing riding on this game. Let's just hope we get a win, keep the morale high ahead of the Champions League final. Halilovic with the corner, looking for Leto. It's come back into the middle. Parejo has it. Leto is the one to finish it, though. He's buried that in the back of the net. I think that's his first goal for the club. Asasabar, forward to Juan Fran. Now Pardo, tackled by Medran. Bakali's been released down the left flank. Got Gregoritsch arriving in the middle, and Gregoritsch does score. He's flashed that header across the goal. 18 goals this season for the young striker. Makes it 2-0. There is the full-time whistle. Our La Liga season has thankfully come to an end. There's been nothing riding on it for about 8 to 10 games. But we have finished 7 points clear of Atletico Madrid and 8 points clear of Barcelona. If you'd offered us that at the start of the season, we'd have ripped your hand off. But Real Madrid have finished 18 points clear at the top of the league. That is the scale of the challenge that we're facing. We need to make up 20 points on what has already been a fantastic season if we're going to win La Liga. And it's just not going to happen at Valencia because £7 million is not going to make up 20 points at the top of the table. So we'll talk about the future later in the next episode, I think. For now, I think that is going to be it. The Champions League final will be an episode all of its own. We'll also do our end of season review and standard things there. Let me know in the comments what you think about my plans for the future. I think that this is going to be my last season at the club. If we don't win the Champions League final, I might stay for one more season. But if we do win it, I think I'm going to start looking properly for other jobs that we can take on in other leagues. Because to win La Liga, we have to be in one of the 3 big clubs if we're going to do it in less than 3 years. I don't want to spend 10 years at Valencia trying to build them up from the ground. That's not the idea of this save. This series is all about trying out different leagues and different clubs. So there will be jobs coming up over the summer, I think, and I will apply for them. But let me know in the comments what you think. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see how we get on in that Champions League final. But until next time, see ya!